in a room where we have about 70 people. Are you kidding me? Wow, that's that's very unusual. Very, very unusual. Okay, I can see Usefat Adewumi. So, and I know her already. I have a feeling she's going to be one of our best students at the end of this academy. Why? Like I could remember her from the very first day that we did this onboarding. I can remember her face well because like she was on video. I remember her well, right? So Usefat, please unmute yourself. After Usefat is Christy. After Christy is Precious.
Good evening, ma'am. The collaboration was impressive. We really tried our possible best to bring everything together, but the time was not just on our side. It was really a good time together. We really brainstormed. We did a lot, but we were unable to meet the deadline, ma'am. Thank
Great.
you.
And I like the fact that you say you really collaborated because that is one of the most important things that you could be able to do for yourself if you're going to do remote work. Trust me, if you cannot collaborate and communicate effectively, you cannot work remotely. And that is it. Like you cannot collaborate and you cannot communicate in a group that you're not presently, like you're not in an office setting which you're working remotely. If you cannot do those two things, you can't work remotely. Like remote work is not for you. Just know that one. So if you say you got a hang of it, then I'm glad that you did. So next, Christy Ogunsowo, 1 minute or less. How was it for you?
Okay. Good evening, Ma.
Good evening, ma'am.
I'm so excited that I was a part of this team. Part of room one. Though at first it was like, how are we going to go about it? But everybody collaborated and people volunteered. I'm going to do this. Somebody already created the Google form. Somebody was writing the email. Somebody created the group link. And then we were able to, somebody created the Slack. So immediately we were logged out. We started communicating on the Slack. So it's an interesting experience. And I want to say thank you for this opportunity. I know, but this time we were unable to finish our work anyway, because the time was not on our side. So, but it was an interesting experience. At least we had hands-on experience and the practical one. So that was it. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you so much for that feedback. And I'm glad, like, that's always the excitement I hear whenever people do this for them, like, okay, now it's getting real. Like, the knowledge is getting real. As in all the, you're learning, you're this thing, it's getting real. Like, this is really real. So I think that's what I hear you say. So thank you so much. I'm going to ask Precious
15,000.
to Precious Adekole, please unmute yourself. After Precious is Folake Latif. And after
Good evening, Doctor. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor. Good evening,
So,
everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Precious Olamide Adekole, and I'm really glad that I enrolled for this course. I've learned so many things. Before now, I didn't know that Google tools were so many. I was shocked when I realized that they were up to 70. That was where I started getting excited. And since then, my excitement has not gone down. Okay. I was in group 6 in the breakout session. I met Olubukola, Stephanie, Aisha, Tosin, and we're able to, work properly together. Chinyere and Ebona also were able to work properly together. Someone designed the flyer, another one did the presentation, somebody else wrote the email, and another person created the Slack. So it was really a good opportunity, and we had a lot of challenges. So many of us didn't have our laptops with us, and low batteries issues and all that. But we hope that, and in the end, our acting leader was thrown out of the room. So before we ended the deliberation, so we don't know how we're going to do our presentation, but somehow,
don't worry, at least start networking with them right now.
We'll come up with something.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that feedback. So we're going to have Folake Latif next. Yeah, for Luck and Latif, please go on next. 1 minute or less. Please unmute yourself and let's hear from you for Luck and Latif.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
I'm
How
so
are you
happy
doing?
to meet you in person. So the experience was so amazing. Yeah, I'm fine. Initially, there was tension because I did not pay attention to when you were trying to meet up with the others, and the, the experience was so amazing. So I learned a lot to pay attention, to go with others, and to try to do the part I mean, my do my part. So I'm very grateful for what you give us the opportunity for.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I like the part where you said pay attention. And that is what I notice at work when you say people, like, do you know how angry we are sometimes as employers of labor? And you're telling your staff something and the person's mind is not there. Then you in your mind, you think you have delegated. Then you come back and you say, Ma, was it what you said? And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? That means you are not paying attention. So, like, trust me, it's a skill, especially when you're working, like, I can't even overemphasize that. Because when you're working remotely in a team, you would typically have meetings. And unfortunately, if you've always worked in a physical setting, you would always think that you would just like they will call you and say, go and do this one. At least you know they are talking to you one-on-one. But in a remote, and let me shock you, like in the global space, at Monday meetings, they are not saying you go and do this one. Like it's like a discussion. Like all of you are discussing. Like, how do I explain it? Like I say, oh, this is this. And before you know it, that discussion, if your ear and your head is not open at the same time, that you are saying, okay, which out of this discussion, which one is concerning me? Like which one is supposed to be me? Like you have to listen, like listen. You cannot be multitasking and be working remotely and say, I want to be doing something. I can bet you will not get the instruction of that meeting. You will not know the one that they said that concerns you. You will now look like a stupid person at the end of that meeting because I now say, okay, now that we've deliberated, blah, 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 can everybody talk about what their priorities are? And you're wondering when did they give us work? Like you're wondering when did they give us work? But guess what? Because they feel like you have the common sense enough to be present in that meeting and you are listening, you must have gotten the part that concerns you in all the deliberation. That's when you now say, because why? You are used to a system, they will call you and they will say, give you the work. You are used to micromanagement. It is not like that in this thing. You have to listen in for your own tasks. Like, oh, this is a challenge. It is what we need to solve this week. So you must ask yourself, based on the role and the thing they gave me when they gave me appointment, out of all this discussion, which one concerns me? Which one should I pick? Which one should I have used my head to pick and say, this is my work? So listening is key, which is why I was telling you in that task that, see, I'm explaining this thing in no particular order, because I'm expect that you will now use your head to say, like, this is how it goes, right? So please, all these things, they are not for play. Like, this is a carefully curated curriculum to ensure that all the skills, because it's soft skills, it is not press, is not set up at press here, press here. It is the intangible, but it is what differentiates you from the next person that is in that workforce. They will just be saying, I'd like to work with that guy. Like they may not be able to place their hand on it, but like they just know they prefer that person. It is because you have mastered to listen, to communicate, to not insult. When you send email, your emails is in paragraph, it is clear. You are not jam-packing things together. They will just be feeling okay. They are happy. Like, when your boss is happy, is dashing you money. Not because, like, they can't place it, but they know your entire life has improved. The way you do things has improved. How you work has improved. And that is the differentiator. They would rather say, I would rather work with that guy, even if she does not know it. Let me call her and teach her. At least she will listen to me than the person that knows that if I delegate, they will not still remember what I delegated to them. It is frustrating. Okay? So thank you so much for that feedback. There's an Ellen, please, your turn. And in the next 3 minutes, and I think Faiza will be the sixth person. Ellen?
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much. I hope I can be heard. One thing I also would drop here is the fact that we may still need to also do more at our meeting etiquette, on our meeting etiquette. Some of us were in the room where I joined, and we were busy doing some of our personal transactions, and that was quite disturbing. I just have to make it known. Very, very disturbing. The work environment was so noisy, and so noisy that we were not talking about the task at hand. You just could hear people talking about their different transactions at their different ends. And that was really distracting for me, really, because if collaboration, I feel, and brainstorming, I feel, the environment is key. So what kind of environment were we able to create for ourselves to be able to bring in the best of our own, to be productive? So that is exactly what I like to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that feedback. Thank you. God bless you for that feedback. Because for me, I may not have remembered it, but I'm glad that you brought it up. You know why? Like, I said something when I was giving people instruction. I said, if you are cooking, you are doing whatever it is you are doing. I said, can you suspend the next 1.5 hours to pay attention? Why? We Africans, as a thing, we are used to being in meeting but not being present. It is just default. Like, it is a thing. We will be in the meeting and they're not present. It is a thing. So when she brought this up about people just going about it, and you know what is even worse off? If I can guarantee you, if I did not mute all right now, some people will unmute themselves and they will be talking in the background without knowing that they are unmuted. That is so annoying. Like, that is so uncultured. For you to not even know that you are unmuted. I said, number one, it shows that you're not present in that meeting. Number two, you are so not present that even when you started to talk, don't you hear your own voice? Like, you unmuted by mistake and you are talking for the next 30 seconds. Like, you are not hearing your own voice back. Please. Should you even be in a meeting, which shouldn't be, and you are not going to be present, at least have the courtesy enough to mute yourself. Have the courtesy enough to mute yourself. Please, 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 I beg you. Have the courtesy enough to mute yourself. Don't say I made a mistake or I left my phone, my 1-year-old daughter. Nobody is going to hear that thing, if you're in the global space. Like, you just then saying, like, they will not feel like it is, actually, if you're British, they will not even act like the thing is offending. Oh, really? Your 1-year-old is with you, right? Like, that thing, that smile, you think that they are allowing you to have your 1-year-old with you eating. They are just practically looking like, oh God, who is this person that doesn't have work ethic? The moment you're hearing that kind of, oh, it's all right, it's all right, it's all right, it's not all right. They are indirectly telling you that, auntie, get your shit together and face this work and put a hold on your personal life for the period that I'm in this meeting. So please take note of these things. It is not all right. It might be your norm. It might be your stock in trade. It is not all right. In fact, fun facts. You know this program, right? The WFS is the first stage, which is a soft skill, this thing. People go on to technical programs, all the project management, product management, content creation, and the likes. Then the third stage is the internship. Right now, there are some people that are in the internship phase. What do I mean? They've gotten to that, that they've taken WFS, they've taken a hard skill from us. They now pay for the program of the internship where we are linking them up with partners. Part of what we do in that stage is to interview, like not interview, like seek out partners that need talents. Then we place them for 8 weeks. They work as in they do tax, like they are full-time staff, not full-time, like part-time staff for that organization for free. And the organization, once they see that this thing, like if it works for them, they retain that person. So a lot of people on this program are transitioning careers, like they are gainfully employed, but they are transitioning into something else. So it's like they are using 5 months to transition, meaning they take 6 weeks, then they do 8. So by the time they are getting to that point that they get to that internship program, they fully transitioned into another thing. Now, why did I narrate this story? Earlier in the week, we had a partner meeting. One of the partners has reached out to say, okay, we need these talents, blah, 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 blah. The partner is based in Canada. After we had all the discussion that we're going to have, and these are the number of people that I want in this, this batch. And she said, can I say one more thing? And I said, okay, can I hear you? And she said, I am really particular about people turning on their cameras in meeting. Even clients that pay me, if you're coming to work with me one-on-one, your camera must be on. Like, it is non-negotiable. It is just a thing. Like, you have to have your camera. And I was just smiling. You know why I was smiling? I was like, I was saying this to people on WFS. You wouldn't just get it. Like, it is not, like, it is just a thing in the global space, because it's like, it just feels like you're not on camera, like you're not present, right? And I was just like, oh, fine, like, you're like, hope you've trained your people. That's actually, hope you train them. Hope you mention this to them in your programs, that it is the ideal thing is to have your camera on during meetings. I said, I've told them, but they may not just realize how important it is. You know why I was smiling in that meeting? I had one of my team members who was in that meeting, and throughout that meeting, our camera was off. But I'm that person that, well, if I like, let me look like crap. Do you ever see me come to meetings and not turn on my camera? I will turn on my camera. I never do it. If I like, let me look like crap, I will turn on my camera. Now, the moment my team member, like my internal team, we have team this thing on Monday, right? In my internal team, I don't have to on my camera, right? All my team, my staff that I employ, they can have their camera off, and I will have my camera on throughout the internal meeting. So immediately that new member that joined me, like she got employed last month, she heard that partner say that thing in that meeting. The next time the partner asked a question, she turned on her camera to answer that partner that question. After which, you're like, I was like, I am glad you were in that meeting. Why? If I'm saying it looks as if your own is too much. As in, your own is too much. So the fact that happened for her, and she heard that woman, that she said, oh my, like it was a reality check for her. It was a reality check. Like, oh wow, like people like take this thing serious. I say, it's because you are Nigerian, you're African, you think it is all right. This is not all right. When you get there, it is a rude shock to you. Like, everybody shows up with their cameras on because it is just, it shows you are present in that meeting. So even if you did not hear something, the fact that your camera was on and you asked for a re-explanation, they will say, oh, maybe it was just your network. But if your camera was off and you asked for a, they will be feeling as if you were not here. You want me to repeat myself. These small things is what matters. Please take note of this. I beg you. I can see more people turning on their camera and all that. I know I said it on the course, but I needed to narrate this. This happened on Tuesday. Today is just Thursday. This scenario happened on Tuesday. For you to know, and they were like, please, if there's any intent that is averse to turning on their camera, don't post them to me. Like, it was, and someone out there is probably right now saying the reason why I did not get a job is because I don't have certification, whereas they went to one interview and they did not turn on their camera, and they will not know what they did wrong. They will just be thinking, maybe it's my CV. They will come and be meeting me inside inbox. Ma, can you look at my CV for me? They will come again, ma, please, can you help me look at my this thing? Whereas the only thing you did wrong in that interview is have your camera off. And you will not know, because they will not tell you. WFS is not what they teach you outside. They will say, it's not me that will teach you. Go to the next person. They will not teach you, which is why I put together all these small things for Africans that nobody will use mouth to tell you, but will keep making you lose opportunities without knowing. So unfortunately, we can only take one more person before we get into, so group one, after Faiza, group one, you need to present. So Oluwatosi and Harriet, let me see if I can take you after the presentation for your this thing. I will note two of you, but we need to actually get to this presentation. Faiza, please say what you need to say. Then group one people, start to share your screen. Start to prepare to share your screen so that we can get right to the presentation. Group one, start to share your screen. Faiza, please go on.
Good evening, Dr. Aderisola. It was
so beautiful.
Thank you. It was an amazing workshop. I was actually praying and hoping that network would not log me out. And I'm very, very happy that I didn't miss this. Like you would say, it's not about having the certificates. Can you do it? You know, people will say by mouth, since I've attended the training, I have the certificates. Doing it is the actual, in fact, I didn't know it could take a lot of work, and being attentive. That was the first thing. I was grateful that I could pick out the things that you said, the way you explained how we would go about with the task. Although we couldn't finish, but it was amazing. And I figured that doing in teamwork, communication is very important. When you don't carry out along your team members, you wouldn't be able to do much if everybody's not carried along. Some people might not be very vast in that skill, so you need to put them through so that they actually get what you were doing. In all, it was very, very fantastic. I mean, it was lovely, and thank you very much for the experience.
Oh, thank you very much, Faiza, for that feedback. Thank you so much. So, team one, are you ready? Are you ready? I can see there's a particular team that is very upset in the comment section right now. Somebody's laptop just went off. That just taught you something. The moment you are working on anything, don't ever be the only person in your team that has the link to a presentation. Never. Never. Like, I never do it. Like, it never happens. If you check my internal staff team, this presentation, the link to this presentation is in the staff group. I'm the one coming to present it, but I will drop the link. Why? It is so that should anything happen, life can happen. And I will tell you for free, life happened to me 2 batches ago. I started a presentation of this particular thing. I was at my desk in the office, but I had worked all day. I didn't remember to stand up from my desk. And by the time it was time for them to come back from the breakout room, I was just feeling like I was going to, like, my left side started going numb. And I was like, okay, what is happening? Then I stood up from my seat and I said, Mohina, continue this meeting. I need to get to the hospital right now. Imagine my team did not, of course, she knew how to continue because she had the link to the Canva to present. So she just continued this thing. Somebody would have thought it was planned. It was not planned. I went to the hospital that night. I can't forget. Like, I went to the hospital and everything like that. So why did I say this to you? Don't ever be working collaboratively in this thing. And one other person in the team. The first thing I do when I'm working collaboratively with people is to, like, I create a sample. Like, if it is a Canva link, I create a Canva link. If it's a mirror board, I create a mirror board. The first thing I do before I do anything on that board, on that Canva listing, is to make the link public access, take the link and drop it where other people are. It doesn't matter because any other person can click the link. That is why we work in cloud. I taught you cloud-based too, whether it is Google Drive, it is Canva, it is Miro, they are all cloud-based. It is in real time with link. Any other person could have access. So you won't be having this thing of my screen went off. You would already have the link in another person's hand. You will already have the link. My laptop at work, like all my stuff, I can use anybody's laptop. That one I forgot my laptop at work, I cannot work. You and who? There is nothing on my laptop, nothing. All my work is in cloud. So if I forget my laptop, I just tell my team, I beg, give me your own laptop. I log into our email and I move. Oh, I don't have anything on my system. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Okay. So room 1, share your screen. So I'm liking all the lessons that we are taking away from this, because if it did not happen, you may not learn. And the day you will not go and learn to be a very serious matter. Maybe your Oga said, we are going for one bid. You will now open your laptop. You say, Oga, the presentation, my laptop has gone blank. That will be the end of your job in that organization. Maybe you are going to bid for $1 billion job. You now see your presentation went off. Just know that you said bye-bye to your job. So who is presenting? Share your screen, please. Share your screen. Share your screen, group 1. You know, I told you before, 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, I'll just call next group. 30 seconds is what you have to start sharing your screen, group 1. And room 2, get ready. In case they don't show up in 30 seconds, whoever is representing group 2, start sharing your screen in 30 seconds. Hey, let's hear from you. Presentation skills are key. I like how many people are now on camera. There are plenty fine people in this room. And very few men. Men, they don't take out time for personal development. At least I'm seeing Oluwatoba or Latoye. Thank you. We have to drag men to this training. We have to drag men to these trainings. Well, at least there was a time that they would not even show up. At least now they are investing. They may not show up as much, but it's getting better that men are also taking personal development. Doctor, please, how do you relate with advice that we are always giving, even in the workplace? Most IT experts usually advise that if you are not presenting, you are not required to put on your camera and remember, how do I know this thing? Please, we're sharing their screen. So room 2, please share your screen. Room 2, share your screen. 30 seconds is over. Room 2, share your screen. Don't try it. As in, you will see people that know nothing. Take it from me, free advice. I've worked internationally twice. They like somebody that knows nothing, that doesn't know what you know. The person will just turn on camera and be doing, oh, fantastic. That is appropriate. In fact, what she said is right. And like they are just asserting what you are the one doing the talk. Oh, you are the one that is giving the brain work. Someone else is just on camera and is being assertive. You will not finish doing the work. You African, you will turn on off camera. You see the person that did not do the work, that had camera on. I say, one more thing. It like what she's just said is perfect. The only thing I would add is that we just, do this a bit. Like that thing that they will add, it might not even be consequential. But the way they will now exaggerate it, they will exaggerate it. They will now, because they've been on camera. Like if I say the whole room forgets that you're the one that made the presentation. And they are just like that would be the only addition. Like this is just a fantastic idea. Guess what? The person just to you by just showing their face. And another thing, nobody forgets the face that they've seen. When you come on camera, like, what did I say about Usaifat the other time? Why do I remember her name? Onboarding, she was on camera. That's how I remember her. Because I remember the face. People don't forget faces easily. So you will now go, you are me, Adenisola. Let me not know anything in the meeting I'm going. I show up, you will remember me. Because why? My camera will be on and I will be present and the speaker will feel as if, yes, this girl was listening to me. So when I raise up my hand to ask questions, they already know me. And that is how I show up. You know that word you are here, networking. That is the true meaning of networking. Show up fully. Don't ever turn off your camera. Don't let any tech expert be telling you nonsense. So it is a soft skill. Networking, being present is a soft skill. It's not a tech skill. Group 2, take it away. Who is presenting for you? Oluwatosin, are you the one presenting for group 2? Oluwatosin, I just asked you to unmute. I think you're the one presenting for group 2, right? Group 2, who is presenting? Oluwatosin, is it you? I've asked you to unmute if it is you. If it is not you, whoever is presenting for group 2 should raise up their hand.
No, I'm not in group 2, ma.
Okay, so who is in group 2 that I need to unmute, please? Who is sharing screen? Okay, Oluwa, the guy in the house. Take it away. Oh, shit. Please go on.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is Oluwatoba Olatoye for Group 2. It wasn't an easy one to come by, but here we are. These are the team member emails for everyone who participated in the Google form to fill it out. And moving on, this was the result of the polls which we took. There was a high advocacy for Eagle Resort. We had 12 responses. And then the majority picked Eagle Resort for our choice of location for the team retreat. And we also picked out the second Saturday in May as the winning date for the retreat. Out of the total 12 number of people who did the poll, I think one person omitted filling out the date, but majority picked the 2nd of May and at Eagle Resort. We drafted an email to skills, and here is the flyer which we also prepared for that. The time really was a constraint, but here's what we were able to come up with. As a team, we worked together. We had someone dedicated to filling out the flyer, a few people, phone issues, laptop issues, but we were able to get this together. And so We would be picking the date for the retreat on the 2nd of May, 2025. The venue is Eagle Resort. We would have 10 members that would be in person and 2 members that will be joining in remotely. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And what's your color number? Where is it? There's no color number. You didn't write your color number in this presentation, and there's no team slide, meaning that nobody dropped their team this thing. But please, thank you so much for even bringing this up. I really appreciate this, because even if those things are few, I know to do that flyer took a lot, because I could see that your thing was hyperlinked. Your Eagle Resorts was hyperlinked, like it had a line. What it means is you created your Zoom link and you did the work of hyperlinking. So I see that. Thank you so much. And yes, this would just work fine if there was an actual retreat, because with this flyer, you could send it to your teammates in a PDF format and they will click and they will join. They see the dates, they see the time. So once it's the time, they just need to click that flyer and they join. How easy, right? So work is work when something that you know a lot of work went into comes out looking very easy. But when I see this flyer, I know the work that went into it, because for you to have chosen a date, you did a poll. For you to have chosen a time, you did a poll. Location, you did a poll. This, you created a Zoom this thing. So fantastic job. Aside, of course, color is the only thing absent. So group 3, please just share your screen. Let's get to group 3. Great job, group 2. Well done. And of course, you put it on Canva presentation. You did not put it on Google document for me. It means that your design skills, check. Your listening skills to what you need to do, it checks and all that. And you communicated well within your team. Well, that is questionable anyway, because you didn't have your team picture. So your communication is kind of is in question. So who is presenting for group 3? Group 3, please raise up your hand. Abimbola Lawi. The person that, don't let me say it in this thing before I will start getting that kind of request all the time. But Abimbola Lawi, I saw your email. Group 3, who is presenting, please? Use the raise hand button. Of course, you know what that is. Okay, I've seen her. Okay, you're the one presenting, Abimbola. Take it away. I believe this is going to be a great one.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Group 3, it was a wonderful time together. We actually collaborated well, just that our teammate who was working on the slides had internet issues, and even right now she's out, so she was able to send the slide to me to share. I don't know if we can see it, please. Can we see the slide, please? Hello? I can't hear you, Doc.
Next slide. Who is in charge of sharing the screen?
Okay, I am. Okay, so good.
Next slide.
Yeah. We had our Google form and we voted, and 15 of us voted, and the response was in favor of Eagle Resort. The response was also in favor of the last Saturday, the 25th, but that pie chart is not here. But the response was in favor of the 25th of May. We had 15 team members. We have a couple of us here, our pictures, some of us with names, some of us without names. As you can imagine, we're just trying to get everything together. And this is how far we could go on our slides. We had, sorry, I'm trying to look for it. We had our flyer. but we were not able to attach it. But the colors we used, FFB1A5 and blue 2C2F6F. And like you can see here, if you click here, we have a click to join icon, and the Zoom link was attached to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abimbola. Well done, Group 3 members. Well done. Thank you so much for that presentation, because again, here are the skills I could pick from your team. The fact that you had that amount of pictures, your communication was tight. And whoever was in charge of creating your communication channel to quickly gather those pictures, that is always the hardest part for people. Communicating, like send your this thing, it's always added to it, because before you can create Slack, if you created Slack, before you can create Slack and say join, send me pictures and everything like that, your communication was tight in that group. That I could spot. Now, of course, you did Google Form well. I could see the pie chart. You did Google Form well, and you had a very, in fact, welcoming intro. The group chat. You are one of those people that when people see your cover, once they just see your cover like this, you think like, even if you don't finish well, your cover was a very great intro. So well done on that particular presentation. Not finishing on my team, when I'm rating work level, like if I'm rating 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, a 2 is you finished the task, but it was done poorly. A 3 is you did not finish the task. That is to show you how quality is valued over quantity. You do not finish. If I'm rating weekly tasks on this thing on Airtable, 3 is you did not finish the task, but the one you did was okay. 2 is you finish the task and it was done poorly, because it is tantamount to not doing it. 1 is you did not do the task. So it is right next to you finish the task, you did it poorly. So whatever it is you do, do it well. So the person you are reporting to doesn't have to redo it. So what they are only contending with is there is outstanding, not everything you did is rubbish. Do you understand me? So it is key that we take note of that. Why? African nature. Let me finish. Then you deliver rubbish. So please take note of that. Why do I keep saying African this thing? It is just a thing. We were like, even the educational system trained us to value quantity. Like if our exams were this thing, la crème la poor, this thing. But when people come to this academy, and I'm not marking you based on over 100, I'm not marking, like the exam I'm giving to you is scenarios big. People, like, it is hard because you always want to compete on numbers, and it shouldn't be. It should be, what is the quality of what you have put in? So thank you very much for the good one you did. That is a pass mark. So group 4, let's take it away. Abimbola, thank you. Group 4, let's take it away. Who is presenting it? Group 4, start sharing your screen. Oh. Share your screen quickly. You have 30 seconds to share your screen. Group 4, you have 10 more seconds. Oh. Group 5, please start preparing to share your screen. Group 5, prepare to share your screen. Group 5, prepare to share your screen. Because group 4, and let me say something as group 5 is about to share their screen. Do not ever be that group or that person that because you did not finish something, like, it's only one slide we did, you will now, there was in group 3, in batch 3, there was a lady, she was part of a group that was so not cooperative. I was calling that group and that lady raised up and she said, oh, she was not the one that was supposed to present. She didn't even have the slide with her. The team member that had the slide was no longer in the meeting. And she raised up, she said, my group and everything like that, I tried my possible best to try to this thing. We couldn't do this thing, but the only thing I was delegated to do was XYZ. And this is what we were able to go. So this is what we have from our group. I commended her greatly. Number one, she didn't have the blame game going on. Like, see, you people have made us fail now. She didn't have it going on. She only gave a situation report about, oh, this is a situation of thing. So I felt that instead of just keeping quiet, I would come up to represent my group and say, this is what happened, and this is the only thing I could do from my end in the tax. I told that lady that she would go far, because every other person in that team wanted to disassociate from the team because they felt they didn't have anything. But that lady, like she owned it, and she stood up for it. Again, you see that attitude? What it shows is that you take responsibility, whether it is just you or you take responsibility. And that is a very rare trait. And people will notice it. Please take notes. You take responsibility even when the chips, like, it's not going your way. But taking responsibility is a very great sign of a leader. If my staff now drag someone online, I will be the one if my staff dragged, but I will take responsibility for the drag. I need to show up. Okay? So please take note of that. And of course, I'm sure, I say, even if we don't know anything, all of us at least admit that we all want to lead in whatever it is we do in life. We want to get to the forefront. We want to be ahead. We want to lead. You want to, so leadership is a very important thing in this. Group 5, please share your screen. And group 5, you have another 30 seconds. If you don't share your screen in group 5, group 6, have the right to share their screen if group 5 doesn't share. So who is presenting for group 5? I would like to unmute you. Please raise up your hand. If you are the one sharing screen, raise up your hand so I can unmute you. Please presenting. Let me unmute you, please. Use the raise hand buttons for me to unmute you. I've taught you how to do meetings, how to do raise hand button in Zoom meeting. What is happening? The person is not using raise hand button. Ha! This person has stopped sharing screen on. Who is this person who was sharing group 5 screen? Who was sharing group 5 screen? Who are you? The network threw you out. Now, as I'm waiting for the person to reshare, there was a question, I think it's Stella Chamberlain or something, dropped about, they said we should put off our data, something around that. Let me see. I saw it like Chamberlain. Okay. How do you relate with the advisor? Okay. We were told that the camera takes a lot of data and reduces quality. Yes, now it takes a lot of data. Like when you turn on your camera, there's more consumption of data and the quality of your network may reduce. But if you have a good bandwidth, like, here is the thing. In Africa, in fact, Nigeria, we have peculiarities with network issue, like it is just what it is, right? But in all honesty, it is not an excuse. So let them be the one to say, like we are having, like I'm having struggling hearing. Can you turn off your camera so we could see if the bandwidth of this connection will increase? Until you tell me that before I will switch off my camera. But I will intentionally switch off my camera, no. Why is that? When I was interviewing for my role as the Global Program Coordinator at Museum for the United Nations, I can't forget that meeting. May Africa not happen to you. I had Excel, MTN, then the other one, what was that thing? Spectranet. When I'm going for something important online, my backup has a backup. My backup has a backup. I entered that meeting with, I can't remember which one I entered the meeting with. The meeting was going well. I think on the 20th minute, when they were asking me how I was going to manage my many responsibilities, I train Africa alongside the job and things like that. That's how my network struck. I went to the second one. Apparently, throughout that day, the one that was my primary backup was not working. That's how I went to my third backup. I think Spectranet was my third backup. And now this Spectranet started doing, apparently Spectranet was not even like working. Like it's, when I say it was like, it was going off and on. So it would take me in 2 minutes, take me out. So the next 15 minutes of that meeting was a struggle for me. And when I finally could balance in the last 5 minutes of that interview, guess what they said? They said, the only luck I had was the first 20 minutes of the meeting had showed up correct. And they were like, don't worry. We understand you are in Africa, but maybe you are going to be working remotely. This is going to pose a challenge for me at an interview. And I was going to be working remotely. They said, we are willing to, like, just let's know the cost of this hardware internet. We are willing to, fund that and everything like that, because the moment they said that, I knew I had a job. I knew I had that job, because if you're already telling me that we are willing to, like, is it going to pose a problem? Because if it is, we are going to, probably be willing to, foot the bill for that thing. I just knew I had a job, meaning that whatever it is they discussed while I was out and my internet was doing rubbish, they were already going with me. Why did I tell you this particular scenario? You cannot say you want to work remotely and internet. You will say, every day you come to meeting, it's because my internet is not good. It's because my auntie, you have not gone to, have you even, like, do you know some people don't have internet issues in this Nigeria? Have you asked them what they are using? You'll be carrying your mobile up and down. You'll be saying it is only mobile data. You've not heard of another type of data that does not do nonsense. Find out. Let your backup have a backup. So you will know that at least you did everything humanly possible. If I tell you how much I invest in data, you don't even go there. Like right now, I'm already considering another one, and they told me it's 700K. Like, just because of what? When we had this nonsense breakouts like 2 weeks ago, when network was doing, I said, so Nigeria can still happen to me with 3 network. I'm already considering another one like 700K. They told me that whatever, even if what happens, as in that one will not get affected. That is how dear I hold connectivity. Please don't let anybody deceive you and they give you that excuse that please turn off your camera. Why? They know that you're in Africa, you don't have network. Be the exception. We are being trained to be global citizens. Favor Paulinus, are you the one presenting?
Yes, I am.
Please go on.
Okay, thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am Paulinus Favor, and I am presenting for batch 5. And we had a proper division of labor. Somebody worked on the Google Forms and on the Zoom link and the flyer, and we had this presentation. So we agreed to meet on the 24th of May, which is the last September, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Eagle Resort. And these are the names of my group, the names and the pictures of my group members. I wasn't able to get everything because some people had their phones went down and it wasn't possible to contact everyone, but we did the best we could on Slack. So I have my members here and I'm going to move towards our result of the voting. I think it's a bit small, but bear with us. So this is the result of our votes. It was quite good because we were able to reach almost everybody and we were 10, but we were able to get nine responses or 10 responses, which I believe is very amazing. And this is our flyer. We were not able to hyperlink it because the person working had a laptop issue. So this was our flyer and the person managed to do it within a very short time. And I'm really grateful to my team. And yeah, see you there. And this is the tone of colors we used for our flyer, our pink tone and our blue tone. And yes, thank you so much for listening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Out of curiosity, where are you from?
I'm from Nigeria.
What states?
Akwa Ibom.
Okay, you don't sound Nigerian. You almost sound Ghanaian. So that's why I was asking, like you almost sound Ghanaian. But yeah, also because Ghanaians have a way of speaking very, very prim, proper English and all that stuff. So yeah. I like your tone. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you very much.
Again, you had your team members on your team. You are the first team that is coming here to tell me your tone on Canva, like you had your color number going. So yeah, well done. You did 4 out of 6 slides. Ha, you tried. So you had your team member slide. You had even the Canva thing that you didn't finish, the flyer that you didn't hyperlink. Like at least you had it going and you also had your result. 10 out of 10 members of your team voted. Amazing, like amazing, like this. And so it means that at least everybody on that team know how to use Google Form, know how to, fill Google Forms and do all those things. So those are the things I took away from it. So it must have being a team and how many number, like the pictures you had on it, you had quite a number of pictures out of the 10 people that were in that team. So amazing. Communication was great. Coordination was great. You also listened because you took out the color code and did all you need to do. So thank you very much. Now, group 6, share your screen. Group 6, share your screen. Group 6, share your screen, and that will be it for today. So who is presenting for group 6?
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Faiza.
Good evening. Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Sorry, I'm representing on behalf of room 4. Okay. We had a bit of technical issues all through, but we've been able to pull through. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, so we were able to collaborate and come up with the following results. From our Google form results, it was done by one of our members and he had all the responses from over 10 participants, but unfortunately, due to a network glitch, he wasn't able to share the results in form of the bar charts. But we finalized on the date, which was May 31st, 2025. And we also clicked in a venue. The team members that collaborated, like 11 of us, they also shared their images on our communication channel, but due to time, we were not able to upload everything. The color codes we used are listed as presented on the screen. For the blue, we used 119ED1, and for pink, we used BB488E. Then we also created a flyer. One of our team members created the flyer and was able to hyperlink to the Zoom group which we created, the Zoom link which we created. Yeah, so basically we were able to collaborate even though we were not good with time management. That is all I think we should be able to take away from this. But overall, we communicated well. Nobody held back. We were able to ask questions and clarify. You know, it was good team effort at the end of the day. I really appreciate being part of the process. And it was really, really, is like you said, unless you've been a part of it, you can't boast and say that you were part of any teamwork. You know, all those things we write in our CV is just, we're just writing words. Now this is, we're putting our mouths where the work is. It was a very eye-opening experience. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Fahiza. And I like how you concluded. You are putting your money where your mouth is and all. Like, yes. It's just, and that's just the truth. Let your CV be beyond the lists. If you are listing, you've not done the work. And trust me, the employability, like the workforce moved, they since moved, but Africans refused to move. They moved. When I say they moved, like they've reprioritized what is important in the workforce in the global space. Like go and start looking at LinkedIn jobs. They will finish listing skills, experiences, that they not say certification is a nice to have, meaning that it is not even really a requirement. Like exactly. But we are killing ourselves on top of degree certification, whereas someone is getting it. Whenever I tell people that I have a PhD in chemistry, I have no business in design thinking. The design thinking experience I had before my job of going to take up those international roles was from a vocational thing, like being a part of the Unleash Global Innovation Lab in 2018 in Singapore, you know, volunteering as the Unleash ambassador, organizing hackathons. They are experiences I curated based on the things I'm doing out of the school. So when I just said me, but I had the soft skill enough to get an outstanding CV to get like everything right. And I just needed to get in that interview. And the mistake you can make is get me in a room with and interview me. Just get me in that room first. I'm going to sell myself so well that you would not remember to ask me for a certificate. You would not remember, like you would have offered me the job. So, and that is what people really play to these days, which is why even when I'm teaching professionals with experience how to attract global opportunities with their experience, like on the other program, which is the GOP, I always tell them, see, when they come and say, I have done this application, I say, Auntie, hang it first. Can you show me the experience, the real work you've done? Because that is what we are going to put out on LinkedIn for them to reach out to you. I say, you think you did? What did you read? You read in one university in Nigeria and you say you went to prestigious. I beg, hold it. Somebody that went to Harvard is not putting prestigious and you are putting prestigious. Like if it is on education, people have the education you have. If it is on whatever, people have what you have in certifications. The differentiator is like someone I was not in this room with you cannot say they've worked collaboratively in a team. And exactly, God help you. You were in a group that maybe had someone from Ghana and that person from this thing. You will say, I have worked collaboratively on the project with people of diverse culture, diverse nations. Because you have. That's just the truth. You have in this workshop. So please hold your experience like this. You may not have finished. It is all right, but that experience has happened of working collaboratively. which is why I pity people that were not in this workshop. No matter what they do, they should take this PDF now and go and do it on their own. You cannot relate an experience that you are not a part of. Do you understand me? So please tell your team members, in case of next workshop, if they plan to miss it, tell them that that is their chance at saying, I work collaboratively with a group of people. Faiza, thank you. So group 6. If you notice, for every time people do things, I use it as an opportunity to teach more. Please, hold it. It is not in a textbook. It is experience. For every time something happens, I will relate my experience around it to you. It is not in a textbook. It is my experience. Please hold it. You will remember when it happens to you that Dr. Ajenisola said so. Precious Adequally.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity, Doctor. I'm trying to present group 6. We had a lot of pitches and we are not able to come up with the slide. That's because the person that was preparing the slide got cut off. The other person that did the flyer too. So, I've been trying to reach everybody and they've been logged out. So unfortunately, we will not be able to present anything. But we're able to agree on the venue, the date, and the time. Then we drafted the flyer. We prepared the email. That was done by Stephanie. Tosin did was supposed to do the slide presentation before our laptop went off, and then Aisha did the Zoom link, all that. But unfortunately, the network logged every one of them out. So we really apologize about that. So
no wahala. Okay, so I totally understand. And thank you, Precious Adequali, for coming up to speak on behalf of Group C. Group 1, Lataro, meaning since morning, you people finally want to present, right? Group 1 finally. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes is what we have because we should be out of here by 6 p.m. Okay, 2 minutes is what you have, so that but if you try it in workshop 2, I would not. Please, let's be clear. In workshop 2, I will not allow you. Go and ask previous batches. Like on the second thing, I believe you should have learned. So if you do this kind of thing in workshop 2, I'm skipping you straight and you will not have a chance. So please, who is presenting for you? Share your screen quickly and let's move. Group 1, who is then talking? Can you raise up your hand? You have 20 seconds more to have your hands raised and your screen shared. If not, I'm going to round up this meeting. You have your hand raised. I've asked you to unmute yourself. Christy Ogun, okay.
Yes, please. We are so sorry for not being able to put on something. Most of my group members have been logged out. So I just quickly had to put up something like, so I'm going to share. It's just, okay. We started well, we collaborated. I'm trying to share my screen now.
Mm-hmm.
So we created a Google form, but the person that created the Google form had the pie chart, but she was not able to get back with the chart. So I downloaded. I'm trying to look for the file I downloaded. Sorry, please. I'm trying to.
So Stephanie asked if you still be in the same group. No, like we just automatically assign you to a room. Like we just open breakout room and open it, and Zoom automatically assigns you. I don't know, like I
I'm
don't
even
even
looking for the file on my phone. I'm unable to find it right now. But I
okay.
just created
So that will be it.
If my
Unfortunately,
time
we
is
need to round up
if
this
my time
meeting.
is
We've
off,
had 3 minutes since 6:03. This is 6:06. So
if
3
my
minutes
time is
has
off,
gone.
just log me out. But I just want like we did something. I'm so sorry, doctor, please. Is it trying to look up from Canva?
Someone said they are skilled for work email.
I'm trying to, because I did this in a rush.
Okay. Someone said their skill for work email is disabled. There's nothing, you are the one that opened your email. We cannot, there's nothing we can do about it. It's your personal email that you opened. Do you understand? It is your personal email. So there's, ask Google. I like the fact that you ask, please ask Google, because there's nothing we can do about it and say your email is disabled. What should you do? Ask Google. Google will be able to offer you technical support around their these things. It's not my platform. It is a Google platform. So ask Google what you should do to get your email back. So I need to go right now because I actually have another appointment. So I won't be able to take that presentation
I'm so
anymore.
sorry, doctor. I'm so sorry.
What my last words will be that please, please, please take the learnings on WFS seriously. Because the truth is, sometimes people treat a program based on the amounts that they paid for it. And I always say it, if you did not pay the full amount, someone is paying it, right? You paid a subsidized fee for the program, doesn't take away the original price of the thing. So ask yourself, if I'd paid 300,000 naira for this course, how will I have, what will be my disposition towards it? That is how I want you to treat it. Because the truth is, the value is even above the 300,000 naira. So if you are now paying like a 90% subsidy, or you paid a 90% subsidy, I'm like, yeah, I beg, why will I now keep myself? That doctor, our life is so much. Only her, she will say, do 3 assignments, submit this, show up for projects. I want you to know that I wish there's something I said to someone that I said I could, with my experience, anytime I choose to put myself out there and get an international role, I will. I don't have to teach anybody. What I know that they don't know. I would go out there and get this thing. But again, it is important that we know that in Africa, we have been disadvantaged for the longest time. And all of us getting to the global stage is how we can all excel together. And for me, the problem I choose to solve is the one of the education and in terms of skills. Someone else may come one day and say the one they want to solve is the fact that Africans don't have certifications. But me, I choose to solve the obvious one I have seen that has been paining me even in my own workforce, which is lack of workplace skills. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming here and for spending 3 hours with me. I will see you in another workshop where we get to do this again. Another scenario, please. Another scenario. We get to do this again. So on that note, if you'd like to just unmute yourself and say bye-bye, I'm going to allow everyone to be able to unmute themselves now. So say your good night and God bless you all.
Good night, doctor.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Group members, I love you all.
Thank you, doctor.
Bye.
Members.